Good afternoon. Welcome to BYJU'S exam prep. So today we will be looking at previous year paper analysis and the trend. We're not going to get into the theory part of it. We are going to solve questions from NMAT exam, and then we are going to see what level of questions have they asked so far. And then we are going to do the analysis as to what kind of level of questions from each topic they give. So that will give us a very good idea what to expect in the NMAT exam, right? So yeah, good afternoon. No, Varun, they will not guarantee any placements, because what if you go there and don't study? So of course they are not going to guarantee it, but if you are in a good college, so chances are that you will go through it well. Okay, so I hope everyone who is watching this must have registered for All India Open Mock for CAT 2022. The exam has started from 9th and it will continue until 18th. You will be having the strategy, as in you will be able to develop a strategy. It's going to help you figure out what to do in the actual CAT day. You can see the mock attempts by the experts, how they are solving, and then learn from them. You will also come to know about your strengths and weaknesses, which topics are your strengths, which are weak. And you will also be receiving question-wise video solutions that will help you a lot to analyze not just the theory solutions, but the video solutions as well. So if you want to experience your CAT before D-Day, please do register and write the exam. Okay, so this is the first question. So what we will do is we will solve the questions, see how difficult it is, and we will be doing the comparison between the NMAT questions and the CAT, not really CAT के साथ comparison कर लेंगे, because everybody is preparing for the CAT exam, right? Almost everyone. So a cube of white chalk is painted red and then cut parallel to the sides to form two rectangular solids of equal volume. What percent of the surface area of each of the new solids is not painted red? So this is what we need to find out. Yeah, good afternoon. So it's a very common sense based question, okay? Very, very common sense based. So suppose if you have a cube, right? The dimension is not given, so it really doesn't matter. So right now, what is the total surface area, or let's say how many of the faces of this cube are already painted? So can we say that a total of 6 faces are already painted? Right? Now, if you are going to cut it across, let's cut it vertically, so that we will get two cuboids now, the left hand side and the right hand side. And if you look at the right hand side cuboid, you will see something like this, wherein the faces that were already painted, they are still there, but this is the cut part, the cut face is not going to be painted, right? So these all were painted. So if I look at a particular cuboid, the question is each of the new solids, that is the cuboid, is not painted red. So can I say that when you have 6 faces and if you cut it in half, you will have a total of 1 on the left hand side, right? 1 behind, 1 in the front, 1 on the top, and 1 at the bottom. So there are 6 faces of this cuboid that are painted red. There is only 1 face of the cuboid that is not painted. So if I want to calculate what is this percentage of the total surface area of this that is not painted red. So the left hand side, this is one entire surface, right, of that original cube, one entire surface. Okay, what about the top and bottom? Can I say they both together make a total of one surface? The front and the rear, can I say they total make a total of one surface? And can I say this particular surface which is not painted, that is a complete one surface? So how many total surfaces do we have which is same as the cube of the original dimension, let's say A cross A? So A kidhar mila? Top and bottom, they together will give us one more. The front and rear, they will together give us one more. And one we have to the left and right. Left and right मिलाकर कितने surfaces हैं? 2 हैं, right? Because the one of the dimensions has not changed, the other has been half. That's why I've counted them as 1 and 1. तो ये अपना इधर मिला, एक हो गया, एक इधर हो गया. So there are two. So right now we have total 4 squares, which are nothing but the faces of the cuboid. Out of those 4 faces, how many faces are not painted red? One of them. So can I say the percentage will be 1 by 4, which is 25%? Option 4th. Same will happen with the second one. Okay. Next question. So no formula required. All you have to do was visualize. A typical NMAT mensuration question. Okay. Next question is Vinith calculates his profit percentage on the selling price. So whenever you calculate profit percentage on the selling price, that is called margin percentage, right? And when you calculate it on cost price, that is known as profit percentage. Whereas Roshan calculates his profit on the cost price. So Roshan is calculating profit percentage, Vinith is calculating margin percentage. They find that the difference of their profits is rupees 275. If the selling price of both are the same and Vinith gets 25% profit and Roshan gets 15% profit, then find their selling price. So looks like they're asking us the sum of the selling. No, it doesn't matter, right? We will have an idea whether they're asking us sum of the selling price or individual, because we don't see a number which is twice of the other. Varun, of course you can use the formula. So if I talk about Vinith, Vinith's profit percentage is 25%, right? So for Vinith, we will say selling price minus cost price. So selling price of Vinith minus cost price. It's given that selling price of both are the same, right? So we will not use selling price of Vinith. We will write selling price minus cost price of Vinith upon he is calculating on selling price, right? This is given as 25% profit. So this is 1 by 4. So if we solve this, we will get 3 times selling price is equal to 4 times cost price of Vinith. Now let's look at Roshan. For Roshan, it's selling price, because the selling prices are same, right? Minus cost price of Roshan divided by he is calculating on cost price. This is 15% profit. 15% is going to be 15 by 100, which is nothing but 3 by 20. If we cross multiply, we will have 20 times selling price is equal to 23 times cost price of Roshan. So this is the two relations we will get. See, there are 3 variables, right? Selling price, cost price of Vinith, selling price, cost price of Rohit. 3 variables. One more thing that is given to us is that the difference of their profits is rupees 275, right? So selling price minus cost price of Vinith, so this is the profit, minus selling price minus cost price of Roshan. This difference, we don't know which one is larger as of now. Well, of course, you guys can understand that it's larger in the case of Vinith because selling price is larger, denominator is larger, so it should be a larger value. Overall profit percentage is larger. But let's say if we don't know, so we can say that this is 275. So selling price and selling price will cancel out. We'll be left with cost price of Roshan minus cost price of Vinith. The mod of that is 275. So we don't know which one is larger. That's why we have the modulus. Now we have 3 equations and we have 3 variables. So if we want to find out what is the SP, we will have to get rid of CP, right? For that, it's going to be very time consuming. So we'll have to multiply the first one with 23, the second one with, first one with 20, the second one with 3, so that my LHS has the same coefficient, right? 60 SP and 60 SP, so that I can find out the relation between cost price of Vinith's article and cost price of Roshan's article, and use it to find the difference to certify. I'll get the cost price, eventually I'll get the selling price, right? So do we get such kind of lengthy questions which requires a lot of steps and so many equations in NMAT? Yes. So NMAT is notorious for giving you some questions which are like difficult ones. Once you solve easier questions, because it's adaptive in nature, right? So once you solve very good number of questions continuously, eventually you will be given a question which is going to be lengthy. Not that you won't understand, but it's going to be lengthy. So how to go about such questions? Shall we actually solve it? Shall we mark something and move ahead? No, we are going to use the common sense. Since they are asking us the selling price, so just look at these two. You don't need any of this. Okay, look at this two. Looking at this, can I say selling price will be in the table of 4 and selling price will be in the table of 23? So I want a number which is in the table of 4 as well as 23. It has to be, right? Selling price hoga uske table mein. Which of the following options give us a number which is in the table of 23? There is only one. Bas ho gaya. We don't have to even go through one option by one option, as in 2100 put karke equation solve karo, verify if it makes sense, then check 2300. So every time you are writing and you are getting an equation where you have the coefficients, we know that coefficients are like a coefficient of a variable is not its own, it's for other variable, right? So this will help us figure out the answer quickly. But you do get such questions, lengthy, time consuming. Okay. Next is Sneha's age is 1/6 of her father's age. Sneha's father's age will be twice of Vimal's age after 10 years. If Vimal's 8th birthday was celebrated 2 years ago, then what is Sneha's present age? Okay. So since we have none of these, then it may feel like that we will have to solve until the end, but we will always write down something and then look at the options and try to figure out ki ye possible hai ki nahi hai. Okay. So if we talk about current year, as in the year 2022, we have 3 people, right? We have Sneha, we have her father, and we have Vimal. So what is Sneha's age? 1/6 of her father's age. So her father's age is 6x, Sneha's age is x. And if Vimal's 8th birthday was celebrated 2 years ago, 2020 में विमल ने अपना 8th birthday celebrate करा था, तो विमल का अभी birthday कितना हो जाएगा? Vimal is 10 years old. We have no idea as to what x could be. We know that father's age is going to be in the table of 6, but Sneha का age 6 के table में further होगा कि नहीं? We have no idea, right? Next is, after 10 years, as in the year 2032, father's age will be 6x plus 10 and Vimal's age will be 20 years. What is given? That Sneha's father's age will be twice of Vimal's age. So this will help us figure out directly the value of x, right? So we will have 6x is equal to 40 minus 10, which is 30, or we will have x is equal to 5 years. X is nothing but Sneha's age. 5 we don't see in any of the first 3 options, so none of these becomes your answer, right? So go slow, don't rush in NMAT. Some of the questions are going to be lengthy. Okay, the next one. If both 5 square and 3 cube are factors of n into 2 to the power 5 into 6 square into 7 cube, then what is the smallest possible value of n? This is a question related to numbers topic, right? Where we have to find that if a number is a factor of some the other number or not. So for that, let's rearrange this particular term and prime factorize it properly, because 6 is not a prime number. 2 and 7 are, 6 is not. So can we write this as n into 6 contains 1 2, so 6 square will have 2 2's, it will make 2 as power of 7. We will have 2 3's now, that will come from 6 square, and then we will have a 7 cube as well. So this is the value that we have. Now it's given that 5 square and 3 cube, they both are the factors of the given number. In other words, when you look at the prime factorization of the given number, it should contain 3 cube and it should contain 5 square. So abhi ke liye, does it contain 3 cube? Nahin. There is only a 3, there are only 2 3's so far. We want 3 3's. So n should contain that extra 3. Next, do we see any 5 square? तो एक 5 square भी चाहिए होगा हमें. We can have n as multiplied by some other prime numbers also, or higher powers of these prime numbers as well. But the question is, what is the smallest possible value of n? So can I say n will be smallest if all that is required are the only values or the terms that we give to n? So n is going to be 5 square into 3, which is nothing but 75. Okay? So no formula as such had to be used here. You simply have to just compare with the given number and the factors given. Okay, next question. How many different ways can 2 students be seated in a row of 4 desks so that there is always at least one empty desk between the students? So this is a question on PNC, as in you have to count. Now, the thing is, people start away, the people jump to factorials or NCR or NPR. You don't have to do that. What you have to do is look at the options. If the options contain simple values, count kar lo na, bana lo cases. In this question, in the worst possible scenario, I'll have to make 6 cases. Had the options been in tens and hundreds, 32 cases, 42 cases, 210 cases, to utne cases to nahi bana sakte. Then we have to think in terms of formula, we'll have to leave the question. So, there is a row of 4 desks and 2 students have to be seated there, right? So, in how many ways can they be seated? So, le lete 2 students hai na? So, let's take the students as A and B. So, A is over here, at least ek ka gap, so B is over here. A is over here, B is over here. Next, A could be at the second position, B is going to be at the last position. So I'm saying if the desks are, looking northwards, if it's looking ahead, so this is how they need to be seated, right? Now, A, if is in the front, then B is at the end. If A is at the front, B is at the third position. So this is possible. How about the vice versa of it? Ye bhi to ho sakta hai na ji. So B is over here, B is over here, then B comes in the second position and A goes to the end. So these are the 6 possible cases. Since none of the option is more than 6, so the moment we get 6 cases, we are more confident ki haan chalo aa gaya. We have not missed out on any cases and no case has been repeated. So 6 becomes the answer. Why 2 raised 7? 6 square is 2 into 3, Varun. So what happens when you multiply values with the same base? Okay, the next one. Algebra, variables, put in the values, see how they are going to be solved. Can I write the first term as x to the power b minus c into b plus c minus a? Similarly, can I write the next term as x to the power c minus a into c plus a minus b? Similarly, can I write the last term as, not last term, the last part of the term as x to the power a minus b into a plus b minus c? Now, what happens when you have the same basis? The powers are supposed to add, right? So we will have x to the power b minus c into b plus c minus a plus c minus a into c plus a minus b plus a minus b into a plus b minus a. Now, are we really going to open the brackets and then solve what power we are going to be left with? No. What we are going to do is we are going to put in random values of ABC and see what do we get as the power. Suppose if I take the value of A, B, C each equal to 1 or 2 or 3, A, B, C all equal. So the first term will become 0 in the power, the second will also become 0, C minus A, 1 minus 1, 0. Third will also become 0, so x to the power 0 is what you will get, which is 1. But if I put ABC as 1, 1, 1, 1 in the options, this is going to give me x cube, this is 1, this is x to the power 1 and this is x cube as well. So going by the options, we are pretty sure that second should be the answer. But if you are not confident enough, take some other values of A, B, C. So suppose A is minus 1, B is equal to 0, C is equal to 1. ऐसे ले लो आप. If I take minus 1, 0 and 1 and if I put it over here, I will have x to the power b minus c, which is minus 1, into b plus c minus 1, which is going to be 2, plus c minus a is going to be 2, into c plus a minus b, this is going to be 0, plus a minus b, which is going to be minus 1, into a plus b minus c, which is going to give us minus 2. So this is already 0, this is minus 2, this is plus 2, minus 2 plus 0 plus 2 will give us x to the power 0 again, which is back to 1. So no matter what powers I give as ABC, I see that they are always going to give us 1. So now we are confident that second option is going to be the answer. Right? So if you simplify it to a certain extent and then put in the values, it's going to be better. We could have straight away put in the values here also. ABC sabko 0 rakh lo. Since those are the powers, every value will become 1. 1 by 1 into 1 by 1 into 1 by 1, which will give you 1 anyways. Or you take ABC as 1, 1. So x to the power 1 by x to the power 1 kya hota hai? 1 hota hai. 1 ka power anything will remain 1. So each of those brackets will turn out to be 1 each. Right? And we have seen, if you have solved enough number of questions in algebra like these, you realize that whenever the powers or whenever the multipliers are in a cyclic format, it turns out that they always cancel out each other. है ना? इसीलिए उस तरह से given होता है. So we will save ourselves a lot of time to multiply the two brackets and open and rearrange. Okay, next one. In a certain game, each player scores either 2 or 5 points. If n players score 2 points and m players score 5 points, and the total number of points scored is 50, what is the best possible positive difference between n and m? Sorry, what is the least possible, not best? So, question ke hisab se, this is 2n plus 5m is equal to 50, and we have to think of pair of values of m and n such that they are closest. है ना? So, what do we do in such cases? We simply try to put in the values of m and n, one random value, so that this will make sense, and then use the partners coefficient wala logic. Or you can rearrange it in some way that 2 times n plus 2 times m plus 3m karke likh do LHS ko. This will become 2 times m plus n plus 3m. As in, you have to break down 50 as 2 ka table plus 3. So 48 plus 2 will not work. 48 plus 2 will work. So you get the first set of values of m and n. है ना? ठीक है. In either case, 50 को break down करना ही पड़ेगा. So what set of values of n and m will give us such that 2n plus 5m is 50? तो अपन एक काम करते हैं. Let's take m is equal to 10, then n is 0. Now what will happen? N will change by 5. So the next value of n is going to be 5, right? And m will change by 2. M will change by 2 means it will become 8. ये 5 से बढ़ेगा और दूसरा 2 से चेंज होगा. Next, n will again change by 5, it will become 10. And m will again change by 2, it will become 6. N will again change by 5, it will become 15. M will again change by 2, it will become 4. And this will continue, right? And this will continue on either side. Now, since we want the least possible difference between m and n, that tells us that m and n should be closest. So, out of the given scenarios, out of the given solutions we have found out, the closest m and n is over here, which is 3. 10 and 6, they are 4 away. 15 and 4, they are 9 away. 0 and 10, they are, 4 and 15, they are 11 away. 0 and 10, they are 10 away. So, सबसे नजदीक mn जो आ सकता है वो 3 units आ सकता है, right? Right, Varun, hit and trial can do in the last question. Okay, the next one. 2 posts are k meters apart and the height of one is double of the other. If from the middle point of the line joining their feet, an observer finds the angular elevations of their tops to be complementary. So what do you mean by complementary? Complementary मतलब अगर एक जगह theta है, the other one is 90 minus theta. So complementary means the sum should be 90. Supplementary means the sum should be 180. Then the height of the shorter post is. So we have one post of a certain height and then we have another post of a certain height. And then we will join their feet. We are going to get to the midpoint. So this is the midpoint. So height is h and this is 2h. Now question is given that if the angle of elevations. So of course this is going to be more, right? And this is going to be less. So let's do one thing. Let's take this as theta. So this one will become 90 minus theta. Let's say these two distances are same. So D and D. Right? Okay. So we have to find the height of the shorter post. So they are given that they are k meters apart. K by 2 हो जाएगा कोई नहीं, but if they are given as k meters apart, let's take k by 2 only. Now can you think of an angle where this will completely make sense that they are equally divided? ऐसा हो पता कर सकते हो? Such that their sum is 90 degrees. Can you think of 2 angles wherein this will work? Right? We can try 30 and 60 degrees, but we will have to verify it. What we can do is which particular trigonometry part relates the perpendicular and the base of a right angle triangle. कौन सा use होता है? Sin, cos, tan, which one will work? Tan? So can I say tan theta is going to be h upon k by 2? And similarly for the right hand side triangle, can we say tan of 90 minus theta is going to be 2h upon k by 2? Now what is tan 90 minus theta? This is same as cot theta, which is same as 1 by tan theta, and tan theta we already know. So we get 2h by k upon 2 is equal to 1 upon h by k upon 2. So this gives us 4h by k is equal to, denominator's denominator will become numerator, so it will become k by 2h. If we cross multiply, we will get k square is equal to 8h, or we will get h is equal to k by 2 root 2. So shorter post height is what they are asking us, that is h. If the question was find the height of the longer post, the taller one, then we will have to find 2h. In that case, the answer would have been k upon root 2. The answer would have been 4th, but right now the answer is going to be the third one. So this is going to use pure trigonometry. Only two exams are kind of notorious for giving a pure trigo question, which is IFT and NMAT. In other exams, you don't get pure trigo. Right? Okay. Next question. A sum of rupees 1440 is lent out in 3 parts in such a way that the interest on the first part at 2% for 3 years, second part at 3% for 4 years, and third part at 4% for 5 years are equal. Then the difference between the largest and the smallest sum is. So हमें ये figure out करना है. So if we will divide 1440 into one part, into another part, and into the third part, such that the interests are equal, as in we can say P1 ka 2% 3 years, right? And P2 ka 3% 4 years, and P3 it's going to be 4% 5 years. It's given that they all are equal. So can we say that, what can we get rid of? 2 and percentage. 2 and percentage सबसे हटा देते हैं. So can we say that 3P1 is equal to 6P2, that is equal to 10P3. So what would be P1 here? P1 is going to be the product of the other two numbers. What is P2 going to be? The product of the other two numbers. And what is P3 going to be? The product of the other two numbers. So P1 is going to be 60x, P2 is going to be 30x, P3 is going to be 18x. So we can get our answer right from here, or if we add all of this, we will be getting 90, 100, 108x. This is the total amount now, 1440. So how much is x going to be? 108 into how many times is going to be 1440? Kitne times jayega? So 108 is in the table of 36. So this is 36 into 3. And 144 is also in the table of 36, right? 36 ka double 72, 72 ka double 144. So this is 36 into 2 into 2 into 10. 36 into 4 is 144 into 10. So we get 36 getting cancelled out, and we get the value of x, which is the multiplier over here, as 40 upon 3. अब यही value put कर देंगे. So either we are going to put the value of x back to P1 and P3, get the values and then take the difference, or क्योंकि largest and smallest का पूछ रहे हैं ना difference, or what we can do is we can find the difference right here and then multiply it with 40 by 3. So what is the difference of 60x and 18x? So this is going to be 42x, and x is nothing but 40 upon 3. So this is going to be 14. 14 into 40, 14 into 4 is 56, so 560. So 560 is our answer. Now, coincidentally, we have got the answer, it matched. Had it not matched, then we will have to consider compound interest. Because in the question, it's nowhere written that we are dealing with simple interest or compound interest. So to make the calculation easier, I started off with simple interest and our answers matched. For 1440, if you use compound interest logic, the answer will not match. And it's going to be very, very difficult, very time consuming. Because compound interest ka formula is not easy, right? You don't simply have a power, but you also have a minus P1. So बहुत गंदा हो जाएगा वो. As in, who is going to do fifth power of something, because 5 years का है ना. So assume that it was simple interest and it worked out. Okay, what about this one? Each of the questions below consists of a question and 3 statements numbered 1, 2 and 3. You have to study the questions and decide which of the statements are sufficient to answer it. So this is more like data sufficiency, right? Which NMAT gives. So what is the percent profit earned by a shopkeeper on selling the articles in his shop? Before we read the statements, can we think what are they asking and what all things should we expect? So if somebody wants to calculate profit percentage, you need the cost price, you need the selling price, you need the markup, you need how many quantities are being sold, you need to know what is the discount percentage, because in the case of profit percentage, you can have tons of things involved. In a very basic scenario, you just need a cost price and the selling price. So any statement or any two statements, the moment they give us cost price and selling price, that is good enough, right? So let's see कि अब जितना चीज जरूरत होता है उसमें से क्या क्या हमें मिल सकता है. First statement says labeled price. Labeled price means marked price of the article sold was 130% of the cost price. Okay, so it gives us that if the cost price was 100, then marked price or the labeled price was 130%, that is it was 130 rupees. इससे अपन क्या निकाल सकते हैं? Profit percentage, can we figure out? No, we need discount, because if the mark price is given, we need to know that whether discount was offered or not. If discount was not offered, then mark price becomes our selling price. Profit percentage निकल जाएगा. But if nothing is mentioned, how would we figure it out? So one alone will not help us solve it. Let's look at the second question. Cost price of each article was rupees 550. You are simply given the cost price of an article. उससे क्या कर लेंगे? Will we get the answer from that? No, selling price is not known. So only 2 will not help us solve it. Let's look at the third one. A discount of 10% on the labeled price was offered. Fine. If I assume the mark price as 100 rupees, then my selling price was 10% less. It was 90 rupees. But what is the cost price here? Don't know. So third statement will also not help us solve it. So where do we end up with? एक ही ऑप्शन बचता है. तीनों चाहिए होंगे हमें. Right? Janvi, it's going to be easy to moderate. That's all you will have. The questions that are going to be difficult will be difficult not because of the concepts, but because they will be time consuming to solve. Equations are going to be straightforward, पर बहुत time लगने वाला है. So the moment you realize that it's going to take you more than 1.5 to 2 minutes to solve one question, mark some option, move to the next question. Don't get stuck. एक क्वेश्चन में 5 मिनट लगा दिया तो उसी समय आप एग्जाम छोड़ के निकल जाना. ऐसे नहीं हो पाएगा अगर हर क्वेश्चन में 5-5 मिनट लगा रहे हो. कोई स्कोर नहीं आने वाला. Not one question में 5 minutes. If you are continuously taking 5 minutes per question because you want to solve it and mark करके आगे बढ़ोगे, you won't be able to complete the section and पूरा एग्जाम खराब हो जाएगा फिर. ठीक है? So max 1.5 to 2 minutes is what you should give. Rubical quant में, in RC you can't even do that. उतना time ही नहीं होता RC में तो, right? LR also you don't have that much time. Okay. So we have started with our next year's CAT program. So if you are targeting CAT 2023, so we have this comprehensive program for you guys. You will be given the learning tablet. Okay, so when you enroll with us, when you join a course with us, so you will be given a tablet wherein you will have more than 130 plus hours of proper video lectures. You will have classroom sessions which will be happening live. You can join it using your tablet. You will have more than 70 mock tests including all the MBA exams. You will have more than 9,500 practice tests which will have a lot of 9,500 questions in the practice tests, which will have section wise, which will have full length tests. So tons of tests to evaluate your result and develop a strategy. So you will have more than 300 plus, as in 300 plus engaging videos, right? Which will discuss analysis of exams, paper discussions, previous year paper discussions, what to expect in a particular exam next year, the current year, this next month itself. Everything is discussed over there. Okay, You will have also given the assistance of GDPI and WAT program. So you will have 15 sessions where 12 will be recorded sessions and 3 will be live sessions, wherein we will help you to understand how to prepare for group discussion, personal interview, writing ability test, group discussions, case studies. We discuss about all of that. So your journey doesn't end with the CAT exam, it ends once you get into an MBA college with us. You will also be given all the notes. So every session that happens in the classroom, those notes are provided to you in a PDF format. So everything is there. So it's not that you have to make notes of your own. You will also be given soft copies of the shortcuts, the formula, topic wise, everything is given. Previous year question solutions for CAT, XAT, IFT and major exams will be provided to you, and that's going to be at least 5 years. So if you're targeting CAT 2023, please do enroll now. The batch has just begun, and like today's session, please do join us every day at 3 p.m. for last lap to NMAT 2022. So this is a 15-day duration session wherein every day we are going to discuss something or the other, one section or the other, questions. We will do how to improve the scores in a particular section. What should be your strategy if you are getting stuck in a particular question? How many questions of, let's say, data sufficiency should you expect? Encoding, decoding को solve करने का fastest तरीका क्या? All of that. So make sure that you subscribe and press the bell icon so that you are notified with every session that is going to start, so that you don't miss out on anything. And don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe our channel. Please do like the video and share it with your friends who are also preparing for NMAT, so that they also get benefited. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram, YouTube and Facebook. If you have got any doubts regarding questions or analysis or form submissions, you can join our Telegram channel, which is BYJU'S MBA Doubts. You can share your problems over there. We will help you out. And if you're looking for more such lectures, YouTube, we do have such lectures. We also have hundreds of lectures available on our app, which is BYJU'S Exam Prep app. For that, go to Google Play, search for BYJU'S Exam Prep, and all of those links and everything is given in the description below as well. So once you log into our app, you can find hundreds of lectures where concepts are discussed, where previous year papers are discussed. Everything is present. Thank you everyone. Thank you for joining with us. I'll see you guys in the next class.